on April 27, 1822, in Point Pleasant, Ohio. I was the oldest of 6 children. I grew up on a farm where I loved working with horses. Even some little farmers close by asked me to come over to their farm to train their horses. When I was older, I went to West Point Military Academy in 1839. It was at West Point where the teacher screwed up my name, and on my form they called me Ulysses Simpson Grant. That is where my name stuck, as Ulysses S. Grant. Simpson was my mother's maiden name. After graduating, I met the love of my life, Julia Dent, who was my college roommate's sister. We were married in 1848, and we had 4 children: Frederick, Ulysses Jr., Ellen, and Jesse. As part of my commitment to the West Point, I had to serve in the Army for 1 year, but I decided to stay longer because I love my country. When the Civil War broke out on April 12, 1861, at Fort Sumter, South Carolina, I re-enlisted under the leadership of President Abraham Lincoln. The Civil War was over whether the South should secede from the North because they believed in slavery. I thought slavery was wrong and wanted to fight to keep our country together. The Confederates were considered the Southern Army, where they wore gray uniforms. And the Northern Army is called the Union Army. We wore blue uniforms, just like I'm wearing today. As a general, my nickname for my initials, U.S., stood for Unconditional Surrender, because I never gave the Confederate troops any terms to surrender. They feared me. And after several long years of war, on April 9, 1865, General Robert E. Lee of the Confederate Army surrendered to me at Appomattox Courthouse in Virginia. This time, I knew that the Confederate soldiers were hungry and tired after fighting for so long. I let them keep their guns and horses. I didn't take any prisoners and let them go home to their families and live their lives. A few days later, President Lincoln invited me to see a play at Ford's Theater with his wife and mine. But we had to turn down the invitation because my wife was homesick and wanted to go see our children instead. That happens to be the same night that President Abraham Lincoln was assassinated. The same night, as Julia and I were on a train going back home, there was also an attempt on my life by a Southerner, but he was unsuccessful. After President Lincoln died, his Vice President Andrew Johnson took over as president to complete President Lincoln's term. When there came a time for a new election, people were encouraging me to run for president. So I decided to run for president with the slogan, "Let us have peace." Let us have peace. Let us have peace. I served 2 terms as the 18th President of the United States. Currently, I am considered the youngest president to ever hold office. I wonder if anyone else younger than me will ever run. Teddy. We'll just have to wait and see. Julie and I traveled the world after my time in office. We loved every minute of it. Well, I must say that I don't feel as good as I did when I was younger. The doctors say I have throat cancer, but I look back at my time in the Army and I feel I did the right thing. Enlisting to fight the Civil War to save our country from splitting apart. I think this is one of my greatest accomplishments. God bless America.
Okay, how about some things you learned today about Ulysses S. Grant?
That he got sent to the military for 1 year, but he wanted to stay home.
Well,
He had throat cancer.
Max.
He got married to his roommate's sister.
How about some comments for Tyler about his presentation?
Well, I like that he's highlighted the
Southern accent.
Yeah.
He's good with those accents, Mr. Desjardins. He sure is.
Kevin?
I like your costume.